Rapid Africa. Tia, all day, dog. Either find we don't find we do it. Rise up, yeah. No, we don't go carry last no more. Line up, yeah. And now you better take action. If you believe that you are royal, flexing your move, gotta show. Let them understand that who you are is bigger than the world. Yeah. For so many years and so many ways to try to pull us down. But time is now, we're to turn the things around. So we're moving to the top.
Dear customer, My Body Rituals takes pride and passion in spreading the word about the importance of caring for your skin on a cellular level. Blessed to heal eczema, as this amazing plant-based formula was tested 14 years ago on my grandson, who since then is completely healed of chronic dry skin. Additionally, our body butter prevents post-surgery, minor incisions, blemishes, prevent and/or smooth wrinkles, and diaper rash, etc. Because your body is made up of earth, it's only appropriate what you place on your skin, and hair is also made from the earth. Our products are made from love with you in mind. Yours truly, My Body Rituals family.
Hello, platform. This is Africans Leading America. I am Afia Koomson, and I have a wonderful guest with me today, my beautiful cousin. Can you please introduce yourself to the platform?
Hello, everyone. My name is Whitney Robinson. Super excited to be here, and thanks for having me on today, Shanique.
Okay, and Whitney has traveled to several countries outside of America, because as we all know, this platform is not just repatriating or visiting Africa, it's anywhere outside of the United States. So Whitney, can you tell the platform what was your first country outside of the US and why did you choose it?
Yeah, that's a great question. My first country was actually Mexico.
Okay.
Mexico was, I went to Cozumel, Mexico. I chose Mexico because it was easy to travel to, very easy to get into Mexico. You know, it doesn't require much except for a passport. And I've always enjoyed the culture of Hispanics. So that was my first trip.
Okay. And your second trip was it Thailand where you went to the second time?
Actually, the second time I went to Jamaica.
Wow. Okay. So you've been to a couple of countries outside of the US. So let us know about Jamaica and the culture of Jamaica. Like, let us know a little bit about that.
Jamaica. Okay. Well, everybody knows Jamaica Man. It was beautiful, very beautiful, beautiful beaches, beautiful people, great food, music, entertainment. It's just so much to explore. One thing that I will say is just a lot of love. And one of the sayings that I learned there is people would say everything is Irie, which is everything is all right. You might have heard it in the Bob Marley songs, everything is all right. Well, everything free, and that's one of the things that I loved, and it was just so peaceful and a lot of ganja and all types of things going on.
A lot of smoking, Mom.
Yeah, man. A lot of love, most important. Yeah.
Now, I want to get to Thailand because, you know, a lot of us do not go, you know what I'm saying, to Asian countries, you know, because we want to stay within our own range, but you stepped outside of that box and you went to Thailand. So what inspires you to go there?
Man, Thailand has always been one of the countries on my list, along with Africa, continents, should I say.
Yeah.
But Thailand was, I did several months of research. And again, culture is always the culture for me. When I go to different countries, that's something that I really pay attention to. And they had such a rich culture, and you know exactly where you're from. You know, they have the temples. I mean, they have a rich culture. And not just but family, but food and art and man, just so much. And the thing about Thailand that I loved is that there's so many different avenues. You have your city life, you have your countryside, you have your beaches, you name it, they have it in Thailand, and it's all very, very cheap. So getting to Thailand was a little pricey. I would say when looking at the tickets, it was anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000, just depending on $1,000 to $2,000, just depending on how much you can afford, and then the seating of on the flight. So
Okay, and this was
first
for a
class.
round trip ticket, right?
Yes, that's for a
Okay.
round trip. That's for round trip, and then of course coach. And so I ended up going coach my first time, not really realizing how important it was to have that stretch out room. And so if when I go again, I do plan on flying first class, because trips like that, when you're traveling for more than really 8 hours, you want to be comfortable. And I feel like first class is the best way to do it. But you should go based on, your means, of course.
Right,
But
right.
outside of that, I would say the travel was the most that I had to spend. And once I got there, everything was so cheap. Like you could live maybe $10 for an entire week of food in Thailand. One meal would cost like $1.
Wow.
Yeah, and then even going to like 5-star restaurants, I would say I think I spent it was under $100 for two people. And we had appetizers, bottle of wine, good food, you name it. And I
Wow.
spent under $100, whereas in America, it probably would have costed about maybe $400 for
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Easy, easy,
Yeah.
easy.
So
Well, when I saw you in Thailand, I just couldn't believe it. I said, what is Whitney doing in Thailand?
I know I'm always doing
You know
something.
what? And that's what I love about you, cousin. You will take a solo trip, you don't need no one's approval on, I'm not going to travel by myself. I need somebody. You don't mind stepping outside of the box and going somewhere without
Yeah.
people, holding your hand. That's what I always loved about you, especially on this journey, because you've been on this journey for a while, especially, traveling outside of the US, and you were one of the first ones in the family pretty much to start traveling outside of the US, and that's what inspired me when I went to Africa by myself. I said, well, if Whitney can do it, so can I. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean? So we
Yeah.
can't let people put nothing in our ear, try to basically make us fear leaving the US to step outside of the box and see something else. Because, the US is not all there is. Yeah, we may be from here, but this is not it. There's a
Exactly.
whole nother world out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One of the things I strongly believe in is going to find out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
People can tell you anything, just like if you didn't know a person and someone told you, oh, all these things about the individual, but when you meet them yourself, you develop your own perspective of them. And the same thing with traveling, like you have to go and see it for yourself, because one person's experience is not going to be the same for the next. And
Exactly.
every experience that I've had in each country that I've been to has been amazing. And that's just because of my intention to go and, what I wanted to get out of it. And each time I go to another country or to a different country, I learn something new, and I have such a beautiful experience every time. The people are very inviting. Even with going to Asia, people said, oh, they don't like Black people there. Well, where'd you get that from? I
Right.
mean, there may be some people that don't like Black people or brown people or whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, it's about how your perspective is, how you perceive it, what your intention is. And everywhere I go, I feel love, I feel invited, and I've never felt a certain way or like I shouldn't be there, because we're everywhere. And that's why
Everywhere.
I love to travel, because everywhere I travel, there's an imprint of the brown people everywhere. I
Yeah.
don't care where it is.
And I'm sure
And
it's the culture too,
it is. The
Mm-hmm.
culture is very similar. When I travel to Asia, when I travel to Jamaica, when I travel to Mexico, Puerto Rico, wherever I go, there's an imprint of us, and we're all connected. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
people need to start realizing. We are all connected. It's a piece of us everywhere. And so that's always exciting, because I feel like when I go to these countries, I learn something else about myself as well.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And especially, being a solo traveler, you may meet people there that are planning this trip with you, but at the end of the day, you are there by yourself, and you can
Yeah.
learn so much when you are by yourself. You don't have influences of other people around you. You are taking this in for you, and that's it. Now, I do want to ask you about your travels. What have you learned from all these countries that you have been to, like your experiences? Tell the platform a little bit about that.
Well, as I was saying, as far as traveling these different countries, you learn more about yourself. Every
Mm-hmm.
place you can find yourself engulfed in something.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the most important things that I've learned is the values in these different countries, especially like third world countries and countries where they have less than, we do, which are many, but they value family. It's the intangible things that really matter. And when I was just recently in Costa Rica, I was there for 10 days and I was there most of the time by myself. It was a solo trip. And these people don't have much, but they are so happy. They enjoy their family. They enjoy the little that they have. And it's just like money doesn't matter. It's just really about family and just literally the quality of life. And
Mm-hmm.
another one of the things, which many things I learned in Costa Rica, one of their sayings is pura vida. And pura vida is pure life, pure love. And when you're putting out that much love and you're getting back that much love, like what else do you need?
Right.
And it's just like certain things just come as you give out love and receive love. It's
Mm-hmm.
just certain things just don't matter. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just the values are different. Material things aren't as important as it is here in the US. They don't
Exactly.
look at those things. That's just an added benefit. But
Mm-hmm.
um so yeah, I would say just our values are completely different.
Values, most
Mhm.
definitely. And I noticed that countries that or continents that have the sun every day, they are happy
Yeah,
people. You know, the
they are.
sunlight really does something to your soul, you know.
It does.
Um, they are very happy. They have rich culture, you know, and they also, you know, value our creator more too. You know,
Yeah.
I've noticed that too. You know, there is more of that, you know, on different continents, you know. I'm not saying that here that we don't love the creator, but I just noticed in Africa, there's a church on every corner, you know,
Yeah.
there's people out there, you know, preaching the word, whatever word, you know, it may be, they are out there trying to bring people more closer to the creator. So
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
yeah. That was
Yeah.
something that I noticed. But people in the sun, you know, all the time, they are very happy people.
They are, yeah. Island people are definitely, they have a better, I won't say they have a better quality of life, but they kind of do because not only are they always in the sun, always surrounded by water or in the water, but the food and the quality of the
It's
food is
better.
completely different.
Hmm.
Yeah, like you're getting another vibration of food because it's not tarnished with chemicals and
Hmm.
antibiotics and all these chemicals that they put in our food. Everything is fresher. So when you're
Hmm.
eating the food, you're vibrating differently. You're vibrating higher, and
Exactly.
it's just pure life. Like literally, you feel good when you eat the food, and
Yeah. Yeah.
even like certain vegetables look different. The color is different. Like the
Hmm.
food is more vibrant, and you can tell the difference between
And
fresh.
it's bigger too. I noticed, I know you noticed this when you were in South America, probably Thailand too, that the avocados over here are really small,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and theirs are huge. You
yeah.
know,
They
I
are.
couldn't believe it. When I saw a real avocado, I said, wow. You
Yeah,
know, before my husband got over here, I was in a grocery store on video chat with him one day. And I just
yeah.
wanted him to see the grocery store, you know. And I was like, this is our avocados. He said, what? He said, that's an avocado. He said, it looks sick. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, that avocado looks sick. And I just
Yeah.
was like, wow, we are missing out.
I know. I couldn't believe it either. It looks like a little baby, like a little
I
miniature avocado.
know. I
Yeah.
was like, and then, you know, he tells me this. He says, you know, different avocados taste different. He says some of them are watery, Some of them have like a buttery taste. And I was like, what?
Mm,
You
yeah.
know, these are
Mm-hmm.
things that we are missing out here on in the United States. You know,
We are.
that's why it's good to travel out so you can see more. And also the ginger.
Good.
Why? Hey, I seen a ginger like the size of my head, and I'm not
Oh
playing.
my God.
Yeah, I'm so serious, cousin. And then like just to see like, lemons in its rare raw form, green,
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a lime. They're like, no, this is a lemon.
Yeah.
Just to experience different, a different way of living,
Yeah.
a
Yeah. And
different
the
way of
quality.
life.
Yeah. The
That's why
quality
it's
of everything.
necessary to travel out. It is. It's
Yeah.
necessary to travel out and see.
Yeah, yeah, it just does something for me when I can see my food before I eat it and it's just sitting on ice and it's so fresh, or you might be able to even pick out your lobster tail or pick out
Hmm.
you can see the vegetables right there. You see the fresh food. They've literally just caught it this
Hmm.
morning, and then here you are, eating it fresh like that. Can you imagine if we could get fresh food like that? The difference that people will feel in themselves and their
Hmm.
bodies and
And
yeah, it's a food for me.
I really feel like, well, I'm sure you know this too. It would cut down on a lot of disease.
Yeah,
It would.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I know you noticed, the meat even tastes different. You
Oh my
know,
God, it
yeah,
does.
yeah.
It
Hmm.
does. And
Hmm.
that's the thing that people like fail to realize is that, back in the day, they used to have fresher food than what we have. And on top of that, when you add the antibiotics and all the other chemicals, not only does it change the taste, but it increases your chance of getting some type of disease,
Hmm.
like the different cancers and things like that. And then the cancers that are found on meat. I'm not sure if you've seen some of the videos where it'll show like a cow or some type of animal having cancer, and then they're cutting the cancer off of the meat where it's like deteriorated and green and
It's
discolored.
green.
And yeah, and so the cancer rate has increased over 1,000% in like the last 10 years. And that
Hmm.
was an article that I read a couple years ago. So I can only imagine what it is now. And
Right.
so that quality of living and food, that makes a difference in, the
Hmm.
quality of life. So
Hmm.
yeah.
And back in the day, our ancestors and grandparents, they had their own little farms. They had their chickens, they might even had a cow too.
Yep.
Everything was pretty much fresh. We did for ourselves. And I feel like America really doesn't want you doing that. That's why they tore down all the fruit trees. That's why they make you go inside the grocery store to get meat. You can't just go to a slaughterhouse and get your meat no more. Everything
Mhm.
is pretty much put inside the grocery store. Well, we could talk about this all day, cousin.
I know. I
So
know.
let me get back to the subject.
Okay.
So with your travels to South America, Thailand, Jamaica, which one of those countries were your favorite? Or do you have a favorite?
I do. It's kind of hard though, because they all have their own different character.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say Thailand was one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite trips just because I did so much. And,
Mm-hmm.
from visiting the temples where the kings were buried, like literally their ashes were buried in the temples and, seeing that rich culture of it and then seeing, riding the elephants in the jungle and being able to
Wow, you did that?
yeah, to be able to be that close to
Wow.
an elephant and like ride on it, and it was pretty cool. And then from like riding ATVs in the middle of the jungle and seeing
Right.
birds that are doing tricks, and I mean just so many different things. And then the food, it's always the food for me. That's
Mm-hmm.
really important to me. But
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
best, freshest food I've ever had. Customer service just phenomenal. They wait on you hand and foot. And then I would say outside of Thailand, Costa Rica, because Costa
Okay.
Rica was another one for me. That was a very spiritual trip for me because
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to do it for my 36th birthday and I wanted to take
Mm-hmm.
a solo trip out of the country. And so I did that for 10 days. And I'm not sure if you know the history of Costa Rica, and it's Ayurveda, and it's all about healing, and just a very spiritual country.
They have
And
an herbalist school there too, don't they?
they do. They have several
Yeah.
urban schools. They have yoga schools, and Costa Rica. One of the reasons why I chose Costa Rica for my 36th birthday and to stay there for so long is because they are actually known as one of the blue zones in the world. And there's 5 blue zones, and Costa Rica is one of those. And not only are they about healing and well-being, but some of the sanitarians in the world live in Costa Rica. So if you're 100 and over, so the quality of life is different. Everything is basically organic. They believe in yoga. They believe in, meditation and exercise, and eating some of the best nutritional foods. And so all of that, and it's so did it for me for Costa Rica. Not only the wildlife and the, outdoors life, adventure, that's all me. And so that was another one of my favorites, being in the mountains. I stayed in a jungle treehouse in the jungle, in the mountains. Yeah. And on one part of my trip, this trip had a lot of very emotional moments because I got stuck on the mountain. And at one point I was by myself and I'm trying to get up this mountain, and I didn't think my car was going to make it up, but here I am. It's getting dark. I know some Spanish, but not enough to where I could ask for directions because there were no street signs there. So on this mountain in the jungle, it's getting dark, and I'm just grinding and trying to get up this hill. And I literally stopped at one moment. I wanted to cry because I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And so finally, I'm like, I'm about to get up this mountain, and I ended up making it up the mountain and getting to where I needed to be. And it was
That's deep.
Yeah, it was a lot, but ran into a mudslide on the way back from. I went to this little city called Puerto Viejo in Limon, which is where all the brown people are in Costa Rica. So I had to make it there. So I literally traveled from North Costa Rica, which was Liberia, all the way through San Jose, all the way through those areas down to the bottom on the Caribbean seaside. And that little province was called Limon. Again, that's where all the brown people are. That's where the Caribbean side is. So you're getting that Caribbean culture and a lot of brown people. And another thing I wanted to share, and I know we only have a little bit more time, but
it's okay.
One of the things that I loved and that I learned about Costa Rica is that they don't say Costa Ricans, they actually call the people ticos or ticas. So for women, you would be considered a tica because the A is the feminine, and then the tico, the O is the masculine. So you say ticos or ticas. So the ticos were just, again, everyone amazing. Everyone you encounter, they would go out of their way to help you and, make sure you got what you need. And everybody was like family. Everywhere I went, it was like that.
Wow.
So I never felt alone.
Wow. So with Costa Rica, was the cost of living fairly decent for pricing?
Costa Rica, I want to say it was kind of pricey. There were certain areas where it was kind of cheap, but for the most part, you're going to pay, I want to say the cost will be about the US dollar.
Okay.
Not much, I'm trying to think the exact number and I can't think right now, but it wasn't, I would say $1 would be maybe 80 cents there. It wasn't a huge difference. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I know a lot of Americans and probably people from everywhere, they love Costa Rica. They frequent there, and a lot of people retire there too because of the blue zone, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, I think it also depends on what you want. If you want to live a lavish life, of course you're going to pay more. But a lot of the places that I stayed, they didn't even have hot water. And so that's kind of a luxury. So there were moments where I'm taking cold showers. There were some places where they didn't have washer and dryers that I stayed. And so whenever I did find an Airbnb that had hot water, I took advantage of that. But yeah, it just depends on what you're willing to pay. But I would say for maybe a week in Costa Rica, depending on where you live. I can't say what that would be, but to eat and drink and things like that, you would need at least $100. But you would have to be frugal, even with $100.
Yeah, you have to be budgeting.
Yeah, because for one day for me, I'm pretty picky about what I eat, but some places I went to, it might have been like $40 or $50 for a meal.
Okay.
So, and in other places, it might have been like $10.
So, it just all depends.
Yeah.
And I noticed this too, like outside of the US, when you go to a lot of these third world countries, you know, they really don't have hot water, you know, like you said, it is a luxury, you know, it is. Cause I mean, I went through that too when I was in Africa, you know, but when we went off to the hotels and stuff like that, we had hot water, but yeah, hot water is a luxury. And when I got back, I never knew how much, you know, I enjoy hot water until I came back. You know what I mean?
You miss it.
Yeah, you do.
Miss it.
Yeah.
When I got back, I took me a long hot bath. That was one of the first things I did was take me a long hot bath, because you do miss it. And those are the type of things you take for granted. Hot water, something as small as that, but you can miss it.
Now, cousin, this is my last question, then we're gonna wrap this up. Okay. But you know, the diaspora is like looking to leave America. You know, they are repatriating and they also are visiting. So what country do you feel like would be a good start for someone that's repatriating out of the United States or visiting outside for their first time?
I would say Mexico. I always encourage people to start with Mexico. And I think part of it too is not only is it easier to get there, but it's not very expensive. And then it's really similar to America in a way. Even though it's Mexico and it's different, it still has a lot of history and whatnot. It's very Americanized. I know I've been to some countries where they don't have anything American, like no American restaurants, no American stores, everything is local, like Cuba.
Right.
So yeah, I would recommend Mexico. Like I said, it's super easy to get there, maybe a 3 or 4 hour flight, usually into Florida, Miami, Orlando, somewhere first, and then you fly out and you're there within 2 hours. So yeah, I highly recommend Mexico to start out with. Of course, to each his own, but I think it's a good start.
And that's what I was telling my platform. I just uploaded a video recently telling them that, you know, Africa is not the only place to travel outside the US too. You know, most of us love Africa. Yes, we do. But a lot of us don't have the finances right now to completely just leave and go there, because, you know, Africa's a long way away. You know, that's a 24-hour flight. You know, so if you want to do something that's kind of close, not be too far away from home and your family, give Mexico a try.
Absolutely. Mexico, Central America in general, is really close. It's closer than we realize.
Yeah, it is. I thank you so much, cousin. This has really been informative, you know. And if you want to check my cousin out, you can find her on Instagram. She is a massage therapist, and also she has a real estate company. So if you want to check her out on Instagram, you want to give them your plug?
Yeah, I am at Health Food and Soul. That's HEALTH Food, FOODN, letter N, SOUL, Health Food and Soul. And for any massage or body work, at Body Therapeutic Massage.
Thank you so much, cousin.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem. You know, we will have to do this again, most definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for showing up. You have a wonderful evening, cousin. Love you.
You too. Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Rapid Africa. All day, all day. Either find we, then we'll find we today. Rise up, yeah. No, we don't go carry last no more. Lado, yeah. And now you better take action. If you believe that you are royal, flexing your move, gotta show. Let them understand that who you are is bigger than the world. Yeah. For so many years and so many ways to try to pull us down. By the time it's down, we'll turn the things around. So we're moving to the top.
Dear customer, My Body Rituals takes pride and passion in spreading the word about the importance of caring for your skin on a cellular level. Blessed to heal eczema, as this amazing plant-based formula was tested 14 years ago on my grandson, who since then is completely healed of chronic dry skin. Additionally, our body butter prevents post-surgery, minor incisions, blemishes, prevent and/or smooth wrinkles, and diaper rash, etc. Because your body is made up of earth, it's only appropriate what you place on your skin, and hair is also made from the earth. Our products are made from love with you in mind. Yours truly, My Body Rituals family.